close to you right now.
I know that song. I just don't know.
I don't know the words.
Yeah.
All I know is I feel so close to you right now.
I wish we could go through life just listening to voices like
this?
Yeah. It's so clear.
You want that? Are you sure?
No.
Okay, me neither.
Okay.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dirt Track Confessions. I'm your host, Mandee Pauch Mahaney, and today we have a good friend, Steve Harbat, joining us.
Hello.
So, we're just winging this. It's this guy's birthday.
Hey.
And I was like, hey, you want to do a podcast? I don't know what we're going to talk about. So we're just going to kind of wing it, talk about some great stories.
Randomness.
Pretty much randomness. So if you're in the mood, hang tight and enjoy the show.
Here we go.
Hello and welcome to the Dirt Track Confessions podcast with your host, Mandee Pauch Mahaney. The Dirt Track Confessions show starts in 3, 2, 1.
So many of you guys have been seeing Steve since like the OG year we started this.
Yeah.
Our videos. So, I mean, I feel like this is similar to the podcast with Allie, because everyone thought we're just starting with this. We're doing it. Everyone thought that Allie was, Mike's other girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure everyone thinks like we got something going on, because I mean,
right.
If that's not where people think, So, we're here to clear the air, I suppose, and kind of give you some background on Steve, because Steve usually doesn't talk much on camera.
No, I'm very socially awkward. I'm sure they'll figure that out in the next few minutes.
You're doing great. So Steve, I feel like I know, but can you kind of shine some light on what got you involved in racing? Because I know you raced.
I did race at some point. So my father took me to Flemington Speedway as a kid every Saturday night. I was not a fan of your father's back then, just because he won every damn race that I went to. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until I started go-karting, I think it was 1994, I actually was able to race a go-kart on the Flemington Speedway infield.
Oh, neat.
And it wasn't until I started driving that I realized the talent that your father had, the mad respect I gained for him over the years. So anyway, it's surreal that I'm sitting in a room full of his trophies and made friends with you, the family, Junior, everybody. So went from go-karting at Snydersville, which I believe is where BP3 will be going.
So we're going back?
Yeah.
We're going back.
I'm excited to get back there to check it out as well. And eventually. Oh,
I think that's me. That might be me. Okay, so we're back. So you moved up.
So, I went from... Well, I started that go-kart just to practice on asphalt, and then just got involved in dirt racing with Snydersville. So, little side note, like Rick Lafferty and I went to high school together, but we weren't even friends in high school. We were literally the only two guys walking around with race cars on our T-shirts.
Yep.
And it wasn't until I decided to race Snydersville, and again, I was like 16 years old, I believe, and Rick was also racing, but he was racing microstocks, and I was in open go-karts. So our friendship began there, basically because Rick sponsored me tires and a lot of help. And
he's okay.
Yeah, he's an all right guy. He's another character. You should get him on the show. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. That would be an episode for sure.
That would be. So I eventually got hurt in a go-kart. Flipped over backwards pretty badly at Marsh Creek. And then that's when I made the jump to what Lafferty was racing at the time, the AMSRA micro stocks. And there was another group called Micro Dirt. Mm-hmm. I wanted a roll cage and seatbelts around me. And looking back, I'm sure the quarter midgets were around, and I don't even know if the slingshots were around then, but the younger kids today, I think, have a lot better avenues to learn quickly, especially cars with suspension. I ended up winning a microstock championship in 1998 at Mahoning Valley. And I was probably in my early 20s at that point, so there was a lot of other interest in life. So I got away from racing a little bit. Eventually got married, eventually got divorced, and got back to my racing roots, and probably got back stronger than ever before with racing. And that was along the timeline that one of your sponsors was a friend of.
I was literally like thinking,
Like,
how did we become friends, Steve?
Yeah, so Wyckoff Roofing was sponsoring your father.
Okay.
Mike is from our hometown, and I'm mutual friends with friends of his and whatnot.
Yeah.
So one day he just said, hey, I'm heading up to the shop, and I believe it was Aaron and I came up here, and it just went from there. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy how it just evolved. But
Yeah.
here we are. And as you had said earlier, people probably think what they want, but
Of course.
I'm more of your stunt boyfriend or stunt husband, because Mike is always far, far away or far too busy. And
Yep. I need my cameraman. I need a friend. I need someone to drive me if there's no room for me elsewhere.
I've even had to put a suit and tie on for you. I've been to a couple banquets with you.
Yeah. That's a good one. You're my stunt boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Thank you.
So I think that's how rumors get started, but no,
I'll just put it out there. Let
we're
them.
just friends.
We're just friends.
Yeah.
So what I always appreciated, Stephen, if you're okay with sharing it, is you always talk about how racing kind of saved you in a sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So along with divorce, I also came down with Lyme disease, which you know all about, but it's a horrible disease, and it really brought me down to my knees. And again, this ran in conjunction timeline-wise with my divorce. So I just wasn't in a good place in life. And racing gave me a reason to live, per se. You know, it was something to look forward to. Again, it was along the same times where I met you and your family. So I just feel like it gave me like a purpose to keep going. And even though I wasn't racing myself anymore, I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed going to all those tracks with your father, even your brother. I was talking to Rick this morning, actually, how your brother ran Packingham's car and going to Delaware and all that.
Yeah.
Like, I almost forgot about all that stuff, you know?
Time flies.
Yeah. But, I mean, even to this day, it's something to look forward to. I think there's more to racing than the cars just going around in circles. It's family, and you know, even with family there's drama, and that's what racing is. And
well, speaking of family, I mean, it's usually Saturday nights you get to bring your dad to the races.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, and I'm actually looking forward to this season going back to New Egypt. You know, I know it's probably going to be a place I end up more often than not. And
It's close to home.
Yeah, it's definitely close to home. And it's different, everything from parking to the grandstand itself. Like, I feel like it's a little friendlier on my 85-year-old
Family
father.
oriented,
So,
yeah.
So, yeah, that should be a good opportunity. And I'm personally happy Grasso is back in the picture. And hopefully we have another successful New Jersey track again.
So, obviously, I mean, you hit off the top with not being a fan of my dad. And I'm pretty sure when you first started coming around, you used to wear a Brett Hearn sweatshirt.
Oh, we're going to go tell this story.
Yeah.
So, what was the kart track? Devil's Grove? Where we used
at
to,
Harrington's?
Yeah, Harrington's. Devil's Grove, I think
it was Devil's Grove.
Yeah, so we used to go there. Again,
It's like it's a friend's backyard racetrack.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
It got pretty serious.
It did get serious,
Yeah.
and there was always familiar faces there. You know, your dad being one of them, obviously. But I've always been a Brett Hearn fan. Again, mutual respect with your father's career and all that. And so one night after Harrington's, we went to dinner. I can't think of the name of the place, Mama Maria's or whatever.
Oh, Maria Rosa's.
Yeah.
You're close, Mama Maria. Yeah,
Mama
it's
Maria.
Mama's.
So I sat down across from your father, and this is probably some of the first words I feel like he even spoke to me. He's like, "You're really going to sit across from me wearing a Brett Hearn shirt?" to which I stood up and took my shirt off and turned it inside out and put it back on and sat down because
he's
felt that
intimidating,
necessary.
man.
Yeah.
He's intimidating.
Yeah, he was dead serious about that.
Yeah. Yeah, but what, it's a perfect example. It's like, I mean, I know for Mike also is, oh my gosh, it was a few months back joking around. I think I had not, our family, we don't fight. But my dad and I definitely butt heads quite often because we are far too alike. And there was something, and Mike basically was like, why do you have to do that? Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, he does it to me, so I'm going to do it back. And I can leave now. You know, I don't live here anymore. I can leave. And I'm joking about it. And I look at Mike, I was like, you know what? Did you ever think, like, before you met me 10 years ago, you're racing against Billy Pauch, that he would be your father-in-law? Yeah. He goes, absolutely not. He's like, it was intimidating racing him then. It's just intimidating being in the kitchen. Just as intimidating.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He just has that way about him. Mm-hmm. But I have pictures of him crying at your wedding, so I think I can blackmail
him and Billy.
Yeah.
They're in there, deep in there.
Yeah.
Deep in there. So what would you say it was like, I mean, hang out with us in the beginning?
It was intimidating. Just in total, your brother was really starting to make a name for himself at that time. Obviously, your father was still winning races and championships, and he's still that way. When I pulled up here today, he's got this.
Gotta crack a joke.
Yeah, he just has this way about him that he can humble you and still make you laugh. I mean, to me, that's the way he says hello and welcomes you, but. Yeah. It's very intimidating. The Pauch family is very, You're not far behind. Just so you know.
I know. Well, it was funny. I think it was like a week ago. One of my R-bound clients, he's messaging me, and like a lot of my clients are through racing, and so he messaged me, and I forget how he brought up the conversation. Oh, he basically was saying how he. A lot of people judge him before they get to know him, and then they realize, like, deep down, he's actually a good guy. Yeah. I was like, I can relate to that. And literally, his response was, well, you're a Pauch. I'm like, what the heck? I get it, but...
I can only picture it's what, like, Earnhardt Jr. goes through.
Yeah.
Went through life with his father's name, and... It's tough because obviously you are blazing your own trail with what you do to be successful, and it's a far cry from what your father did, but still in the same universe,
same
I guess.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think it's pretty cool.
Well, thank you. I mean, you're pretty supportive most days.
Most days.
We'll see if this content comes out okay, and then you'll be like, "Ooh, I think it wasn't too bad." Thanks, Steve.
I can be like a monthly guest.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. So, we're going to move this forward here. But we're going to, I don't know, careful with what I'm letting you open here. But can you think of a funny story, an embarrassing story, something good to get me? I'm literally just handing it to you right now. And as I'm intimidating you with the looks I'm giving you, go ahead.
Like, you can read my mind because there's one story I feel like I'll throw at everybody right from the get-go.
Now I'm scared.
You should be.
That you'll throw to everybody?
Well, like in this scenario, I don't think I've literally offered it to anybody.
Okay.
But I'm just saying.
Oh, but we're going to tell everyone now.
Given the chance, if you're like, what could you say about me? I'm just going to jump right into it. So one time, Mandee's telling me a story about... if I give a hint, you're just going to know the story already. But
I mean, if it's that bad, we're just going to cut it.
Okay.
All
right. So I came to their house one night for whatever reason. Maybe it was one of the nights we went to dinner as a family or whatever, but I had to use their restroom upstairs.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll just give you a little scenario that their bathroom, toilet specifically, has walls on either side of it to separate the shower. I take it. I can't remember.
Yeah, it is for the shower, yeah.
Okay. So... when I came down, awkward Mandee said something to the effect of, did you notice the walls on both sides of you? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, yeah, one time I stood up to poop in the toilet. Do you remember telling me that?
No.
Okay.
I'm nodding because I'm sure I did, but no.
You did. Yeah. You were in this phase of like, I think squatty potty was becoming a thing. And you were maybe in some kind of class that was teaching you that that's how cavemen...
Naturally, you're supposed to. Yes, correct.
Right. So did you actually attempt to poop standing up?
I don't know if I would say standing up, but more than likely like squatting over the toilet. Yes, I'm sure.
Okay.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me. I've tried some funky stuff.
Yeah. So
of all the things that sticks in his head, it's a
that
poop
one.
story.
It's that one.
That makes sense though, because that's like all the jokes I talk about.
So okay, this one just popped in my head.
Oh no.
You also...
Is this another poop story?
Yes.
Not that I almost stepped in poop on my way out, right?
No.
Okay.
That is funny though.
Yeah.
So you took me to an Arbonne meeting that was about...
Oh my God. When I promoted
30 of the most powerful women I've ever been around in my life, let alone in one room in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So Mandee was invited up to have a little speech, and he told a poop story.
Yeah, I did.
Which I don't remember the content. Which
Yeah.
is, I know, irony content. But,
yeah.
Do you?
Oh, I remember it, but it would be embarrassing to my brother, so I can't.
Man, if I knew it, I would tell it. I just remember looking at you, and I'm like, you're going here? Like, this is how you're...
But that's the thing is, like, I mean, this podcast totally just turned, which is totally just my style. I feel like I'm just going to put it out there. I'm going to put it all out there, even my poop stories. And the people that apparently enjoy it, I guess I'm going to attract. That sounds kind of weird, but that are open enough to have that conversation with me.
Listen, yeah. I mean, it's cliche.
No shame.
Everybody poops.
Exactly. There's no shame.
No, it's not. And I think that's actually why you and I get along so well. Is I don't think
you poop too.
I poop too. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, that was my poop next to your car.
Rude. Almost stepped in that on the way out.
So, but no, like you never know what's gonna come out of us. Just sometimes we're mellow, sometimes we're not, and it could be a blink of an eye between those two episodes.
I'm trying to think. We've done a lot of traveling together.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to this stuff, I wish I had like a portfolio in my brain of every memory, every story. Like you remembering that, like I have, you know, Ashley.
Yeah.
So Ashley, she's not in racing. I mean, she has been around since I think second grade, but she's that friend that I can call her and be like, can you tell me about this one time? And she remembers everything I did. Everything. Yeah. She's literally like my walking
historian.
Yeah. I need that. I need to remember that.
I think a lot of us need that. Yeah, I don't remember things well. Rick remembers very weird things, like way back.
Rick remembers so much.
Yeah.
Too much.
This is my second time I'm going to say you need to get him on your show.
Okay.
2014
I feel like
champion.
We'll have to turn the mic down on him because he'll be yelling at us.
Yeah. Well, one time
at band camp.
Now, one time Mandee talked me into going far, far away to Fulton, New York.
You act as if that's far. For you, it's far away.
Listen, it is far away. When I grew up with Flemington, 30 minutes away, Windsor, 30 minutes away.
Oh, that's probably the farthest then. Yeah, okay. We were discussing something earlier, but... Oh. What about it? Was that when Billy flipped?
So I had never been to Fulton, and I was excited to be there.
It's all too loud.
I was not even. We saw like a half a lap.
Yep.
So Billy flipped, and I still remember watching the YouTube video after the fact. But Mandee is standing. We would have been in 3 and 4, and all you see is like you running along the fence as your brother is still flipping through the air.
I'm like going to be superhero over here and save him.
Yeah, but that was the only time I've been to Fulton, and I've literally seen a half a lap of racing there.
I think it was practice. Pretty sure it's practice.
Yeah, it might have been. But that's it. That's all I saw because we packed up and went home, and I was into that. So
yeah. Oh, wait. How about the one time, didn't you bring me home after I was left at the racetrack? Did you?
Yeah, Bridgeport.
You did, right?
You made me turn around.
Okay. Yeah, I made
Mandee's father, and this isn't the first time it happened to you, I don't think.
Oh, no. Both my dad and my brother have left me at the races.
Right. So I left.
Some on purpose, some they actually forgot about
I left
me.
Bridgeport one night after the feature, obviously, and was probably, I'd say, 15 minutes away from the track on my way home. And Mandee called me. She's like, will you please come pick me up?
Mind you, at the time I was working at the track.
Oh, right, yeah.
And Dad's night didn't go well. And this is when Mike and I first started dating because Mike was there.
Yeah.
And, oh my God, I can only imagine. I wish I had seen this. Is Dad's loaded up. I have to wait until the last race is done, right? Like I'm doing the PR, I'm doing all the social media. Well, Dad's apparently talking to Mike. Mike's standing outside the driver's seat. Dad turns the truck on, starts backing up, and he goes, "Bill." Dad goes, "What? What about Mandee? We can't leave her." And he's like, "She'll find a ride."
Yeah.
And he just backs out. And then
she did.
And yeah, so Mike, that was one of his very first things with Dad. I don't know if that was a big red flag for him, or he stayed though.
Yeah, he stayed. He's still here. Yeah. But yeah, your dad is he doesn't wait for anybody for anything. Oh, here's another good story for you with your father. So you guys, when you head south ever to any races, but you know, from Bridgeport to Georgetown, Del Mar, whatever, you would drive right past my house. So you would always pick me up right in front of the highway at the firehouse. So I hop in the truck, passenger seat. I think it was even in the back seat. Probably just me and you, and I forget. But anyway, so we get going, and when we turn onto 95 to head towards Delaware, your dad takes the first rest area, which is 5 minutes from my house. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. And I look at you. You remember this? And I look at you.
I know exactly
like,
what you're going to say.
What's going on? And Mandee goes, "I think you're driving." I'm like, what? So
Dad was good at that.
Yeah. Your dad just pulls over in the rest area and looks at me, and he's like, "Okay, your turn." I'm like, okay, so here I am again, surreal moment in life where your father has me driving his rig. And I won't do the snoring noise because of how loud this is in my own ears, but your father snored for like 3 hours.
The whole ride,
down.
essentially,
right.
the whole ride.
So I know
did we at least win?
I don't remember that part. See, that's where my memory's not strong. I remember the silly things.
Yeah.
But the funniest part about this story is you had told me he always stops for like fuel or food or something at the Royal Farms. But we didn't know which one because there's one every like mile down there.
Yeah.
So your father wakes out of a like dead nap sleep, and he goes, "Turn here."
He's so good at that.
That's all he said. He's like, "Turn here." And as I'm turning, he's like, "And don't hit the curb." So before I even like threw the truck in park and we were all getting out and whatnot, your dad's like, poof, beeline right inside. Of course, your father first, no matter what, you know? So he gets all his shit. And I remember I had a grin on my face because I'm like, I got the effing keys. Like he ain't doing anything, you know? So I was taking my time. I think you took your time. We did our thing. We come out. Here's your father in the truck with the truck running. And I'm like, what's going on? So I'm like holding the keys, and he's like, "What do you think? I'm stupid? I don't have spare keys in my own truck." Oh my God.
Yeah, so. he's been through enough that he's got that.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
He's a character.
Was last year a year that you really slowed down coming to the races, or was it the year prior?
Yeah, so I think at my peak I went to 82 races in 1 year.
Are we gonna do that again this year?
I'm not opposed to it.
Great.
Listen, the reality of it is gas prices are high. I feel like pit prices are getting higher.
Everything's going up.
Yeah, so it's tough, but the desire's there. So I don't have a plan. I like how scheduled you are. Maybe people don't realize how detailed your schedule looks on your phone.
Color coordinated.
Yeah, it's your brother. It used to be your father, Mike. I'm sure BP3 is going to be taking place to your father on the schedule.
He's blue in my calendar.
Right. So that's impressive and time consuming. Phone calendars color coordinated with your schedule. And I just don't have that. I don't need to be locked in. No, it's not that. I am very organized.
You are.
Thank you.
You are.
I just don't have that. I have flexibility. If I change my mind and I want to go to a different track, or if I just am in the mood to see sprint cars, I'll go out to Central PA. Like I kind of go with whatever. Everyone always asks me in advance, like, "Where are you going? Where are you going?" Like, dude, if you know how I flew, like literally if...
It's like 2 hours before, if that, and you decide.
Right. Yeah. So, and the way that works is if the green flag is at 7 and I know it takes me 2 hours to get there, I'm leaving at 5 because, like, I don't need to be there to unload a car and
Jealous.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's when all that other race car drama stuff happens. So that's why I avoid all that situation. I just go to watch race cars. That's what I'm there for.
Do you feel like when you were racing, were you as involved with like the humans in the sport as you are now or not?
No. Yeah, no. I was just naive, I guess, to the whole underworld of racing. Underworld. There is.
Oh, yeah.
There's no doubt. We don't need to make this podcast about the underworld, but I had no idea. Like to this day, I'd like to say I'm naive and I just go to see race cars racing. That's what I'm there for. But there is a whole nother universe happening parallel to the actual racing. But no, I didn't. I guess I was just young and dumb and didn't care. I just wanted to race, and I wasn't like the best at it, so I wasn't like winning races left and right, But it was fun. It was just it's fun. My family wasn't involved in it like most families are. Like I feel like everybody there has their mom, dad, uncles, all that, and I didn't have that. I had to blaze my own trail to just get there, and that's ultimately what led me to have a short career in racing, because you're not going to survive without the help. So, and same thing, like Rick wanted me to go to Central PA all the time to help him, but that's a commitment. That's 2 days, it's your Friday, which you're probably gonna have to leave work early. And I don't need to tell you, how it goes, Saturday's shot, cause you're prepping the car for Saturday night's race. And so sprint cars that's a whole different breed of racing anyway, but. So that has me kind of wondering is, I don't want to classify you as a fan, because obviously like you're super fan.
You're part of the fan bam, but I feel you of all of us have more of a fan perspective, because you'll go in the stands and stay in the stands, and very rarely you'll venture or do anything crazy. So, I mean, for the fans, like, what do you feel is I don't know, how could you explain to them being involved with a family in racing? Not just ours, obviously, like Lafferty, and you have a lot of friends in racing, but that when you walked over that bridge and you haven't really gone back, what's it like over here?
On the fan side, you mean, or what do you mean?
Well, going over here. So going from like just hanging out in the stands to
like behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you recommend it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I would almost bet a majority of the fans are there because they know someone, whether it's family, friend, coworker, whatever, they know somebody racing.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird if you think about it, because that just means our whole fan base is just like
family.
Yeah. It's not even like just people that love, like I watch football and I don't have a relative in football.
You don't have a relative in racing.
No, but it was me. It's my passion.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's, I enjoy going to the pits. I'm not committed to working on anyone's car or anything specific. I enjoy everything, from the smell of the fuel to the rumble of the engines. I'm a little 12-year-old boy when I walk in that pit again, and seeing all the stars. And we're lucky enough to still have the Jimmy Hortons walking around, your dad, and it's pretty wild that for me, I still have those childhood people that are still kicking butt,
Yeah.
And I mean, let's be honest, your dad still has his talent. So it's crazy. And then the up and coming, through my life, I've seen a change go from, and again, using your dad as an example, but your dad tried NASCAR, and it was at the time when NASCAR started doing that youth movement. So it was like it jumped back over your dad down to the young guys. And now even in, again, sprint cars, I feel like it's really rampant in open wheel, like versus modifieds. But there's just kids that can't even drive a car on the highway that are kicking butt. And it has a lot, I think with age, you realize it has a lot to do with not having a fear, and I don't know. Maybe it's the older I'm getting, the less I want to fall down. I could put it to you that way. So I think it has. I think it has to do with that. You know what I mean? Like it's just you didn't have a fear, whether it was skiing or ice skating or whatever. You just you never had a fear of anything. And I feel like with age comes that fraction of a second of hesitation, and that's just that's what everyone's fighting for in racing.
Yeah.
Fractions of a second.
Yeah.
So you can't have fear.
No, it's true.
Doesn't exist.
It doesn't. It shouldn't.
No, it shouldn't. And I'd love to know. I don't think your father would ever admit that, but like, did you ever have that?
Mm-hmm.
I remember your dad wrecked at Flemington on asphalt like horribly. Mm-hmm. I even described it in, of course I don't want to say this to your face. Yeah, he said his balls were the size of grapefruits or something like that.
Yeah.
From going around the 5-point harness. But like, how do you go from there? You know what I mean? Like, does he go through turn 4 every time thinking that, or is that the racer mentality that, you get back on the horse? I know, like me, like you probably ignore it. But again, I think is that an age thing or being naive, or I don't think it has to do with the size of your balls per se. No.
I almost want to, I don't know. I almost want to say it's age, but I also feel it's, what do they have to lose? What?
Life.
Well, yeah. I mean, if they don't have kids,
just stating the obvious.
If they don't have kids,
no, I know, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
I see both sides of it, but I'd love to. And you and I are this way, where you'd like to know the mentality behind things, and it's not just racing wise, but this is where it would apply. Like, I'd like to know the mentality behind why racers are the way they are, or what changes them, what makes Ryan Timms is that really young kid in sprint car racing. What makes a Ryan Timms better than, and I'm not saying this, factually, but what makes him better than an Anthony Macri or something? Like, they're both phenomenal.
Yeah.
But like, if they both blow into turn 1 at Port Royal Speedway, in my mind, cars are pretty darn close these days.
Yeah.
I mean, there's very little wiggle room, and trust me, I'm sure you're going to have people out here like, you don't know the half of it.
Yeah.
I get that. But if you could do the old IROC days of identical cars, like, there's still something separating that Ryan Timms from the next guy.
Absolutely.
So it's like, I'd like to know what that is. Like, Kyle Larson's a perfect example. Like, why does it seem he's so much better? And to me, that's him. That's not just race cars.
No.
That's Kyle Larson. So it's like, what's he got?
Well, I can see. I mean, I can definitely see the difference with what drives the difference between Mike, Dad, and Billy. Like, the difference between what drove my dad to win races and what drives Billy and Mike to win races. But as far as fear goes, I mean, you almost can't have fear if you race cars.
No. Your brother would be another one. That time he crashed at Port Royal that we were there. In turn 3, I didn't think your brother was coming out of that race car. No,
and the fact that he's still back in it.
Yeah, and it's just, how do you put that behind you?
Just get back on the saddle.
Yeah, it's incredible.
You've been to our open house before.
Yeah, numerous times.
Can you talk about like the type of turnout and from an outsider's perspective? Because obviously, like, people come in and out here all the time.
Yeah. So it definitely wasn't my first time that I went that I realized this, but it definitely hit me hard not last year.
2 years ago?
2 years ago. Your dad's not doing this for him. Your brother's involved in it. He's not doing it for him. I didn't realize that the first few times I came. I didn't know why, but it never really set in. But your dad gets a huge joy out of doing this for his fans. Yep. Another thing I realized by hanging out with your family is how much your father did for the kids in Victory Lane. To me, that there's still nobody that's really doing that, what he did. I mean, he literally invited every kid he could see in the stand, like, come on out.
We used to make like coloring books. We'd give T-shirts away because those kids are, I don't know, my age or older now.
Yeah.
Or definitely older now.
Yeah, it has an impact. But so going back to the open house, though, I mean, even he had the EMS squad or whatever doing parking.
Yes.
And I think I heard this through the grapevine, but he gave them the money.
Whatever money we raised, we gave it to them.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just stuff like that. That's the cool part. And then not knowing that stuff, just seeing the fan base that shows up. And now with, not now, we've had it for quite a while. Social media, though, people saying how far away they are, how, they plan on coming.
People that fly in for our open house is insane.
Yeah. So that's awesome. Some of the stuff your dad raffles away is incredible. The fact that he kept it for as long as he did. And then the fact that he's willing to part ways with it.
I know. If only he was like me and hoarded everything.
Yeah. But it's cool. And your entire family's involved in it. I mean, you usually handle that auction part. And it's really cool just to see and I was one of them. I was that little 12-year-old boy that grew up to love your father. And it's cool how much effort he puts in and talks to everybody and signs things and pictures. And it's definitely a cool event.
I feel for a lot of drivers that's where it's at. I mean, you've heard, plenty of people have heard my dad talk, myself talk, like, again, our whole family it's all about the kids, because the kids are the future of our sport. So I think oh my gosh, I hope in the worst of ways, just the most random thing that popped in my head is like, I hope racetracks like New Egypt in particular. There was a video I watched a few months ago when we used to do, what was it called?
Bicycles.
Bicycles, yeah. But
that's coming back.
Poster night. The bicycle thing? Oh my God. Dude, New Egypt's bringing back like circa 2005 and I can't freaking wait.
So I still, as a full-blown adult, and New Egypt started what, like 96-ish?
Yeah, 96, 97. Yeah.
I still do that randomly, that bicycle.
I have that, Steve. I appreciate that you know this, because you go downstairs. Mike's here, guys. You go downstairs and you go, Mike, have you ever heard the bicycle song? He will tell you to shut the F up because I play it in my car.
It's stuck in our head.
It's on my playlist. And
what else do you and I do from New Egypt?
I want to ride my bicycle.
What else do we do when the mods come out? Bring them out. Bring them out.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, this is all what racetracks are, the good.
But like, again, like you said, I mean, well, New Egypt, because we spent a lot of time there. Same with Flemington. But a lot of tracks that interact. I always loved what we used to do. I mean, Kutztown Action Track still does a good job, like interacting and stuff. But it's all about the fans. Yeah. Like we literally, a lot of people don't realize, like, we are the circus. We are putting on the show. And you guys are the ones that we are entertaining. Yeah. So how can we get more of you there?
Yeah, I mean, I see, not to call tracks out or not out, but whatever, but like Bridgeport's made bounds. I mean, just not just the track change, like of the shape and size, but like just what they're doing. I mean, the whole, now they've got like 5 cars with the flags on them and they do the national anthem and whatnot. And there's just so much. And even, again, Bridgeport's geared with the kids with that little play area and whatnot. I mean, that's what it is. And I've heard you say this on your podcast before. It's what it's all about.
Oh, you listen to my podcast?
Every now and again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
I am the worst fan. I really am.
Mm-hmm. You are.
I'm supportive.
Sometimes.
Whatever. I'm going to watch this one.
Yeah, of course you are.
So anyway, back to the thing that, the difference between your father and family, though. I know you're like, what are you going to say? But no, how you were saying other drivers, and I think you were going to say like other drivers are doing these type of open house things. However,
are they?
Not a dig at them. They're doing these types of things, but they're to raise money
for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good for you. I'm all for it. Like your fans support you, whatever. But like that's not the intent of your father, nor has it ever been. It was always like, this is for like a fan give back. This is for you guys. And I think that's what really separates it from anything else that you can just come to. And, it's almost like a fair. There's food and... I
kind of want to do rides. Maybe we can rent like a cute little Ferris wheel.
You better have good insurance because someone will fall the hell out.
You would think that.
Yeah.
You would.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, back to what you said is there's nothing wrong with fundraisers or, I'm trying to think. Breitenstein's, they used to do like a bash in the wintertime. Yeah. And if anyone remembers the 14 at Grandview, Billy and both Mike have raced. It was always a fun time, but it was like their friends and their family and some fans and stuff. And I'm pretty sure that raised money for the team, which is okay. Like, as long as you're transparent about it and you're like, hey, this is what's going on. But yeah, so for the open house, we are working on doing a fundraiser. My dad's in the works with someone. So once we get that set up, we're going to concrete that.
Good. Yeah. It's good stuff. I mean, there's a lot, it's a lot of traffic through here, and it can produce good things from it.
Oh, I think I want to get, do you know anyone that has a drone? Not mine. I don't know what happened to that.
Film.
Yeah, because when people are here, I'd love to go up top and kind of oversee things.
Despite the fact that I know anybody, I guarantee you're going to get comments that people are going to offer
Anyone want to bring their drone?
Yeah.
Please let me borrow your drone for a day.
Yeah, it's amazing. And this one sticks in my head because I just watched it, but how everybody from, I think they even do it at arenas now, but so what's that go-kart track just opened in Edison? It's like the world's largest go-kart track.
I heard about it.
Anyway, they posted a video of the drone that flies like the entire place, like through everything. And I know, like I said, I know a lot of other companies are doing it now, but drone footage is just phenomenal.
It's sick.
Yeah.
It is sick.
It's
I know
crazy.
that's one thing I am lacking on. Just add that to my to-do list. Actually, since you're going to be flexible this summer, you want to learn how to fly a drone?
Got to go to drone school.
Yeah, that exists.
I know it does.
Oh, Mike has shown me drone racing. I don't know how I feel about
awesome. Never thought I would get sucked into that.
Really?
Yeah, ESPN had it on one night, and it was
my God.
It was craziness.
Yeah, I believe it.
There's a lot of craziness. I feel like we could go on and on about random.
We absolutely can, and that's what this is. This is definitely what this has turned into.
Yeah.
So
drone racing.
Drone racing. All right, we're at 45 minutes. So
people stopped like 30 minutes ago.
People stopped listening.
Yeah. I want to close. Where is the metal thing that we're going to hang up? We're going to make improvements. I say we, and I meant she.
Yeah, you got a mouse in your pocket. Yeah. Actually, I have someone making a new tabletop.
Oh.
That's going to have the logo on it.
That's a step.
Yeah. I kind of would like, that's the thing is like, I feel the trophy room is a good scene setter, but it's not really appealing for my complexion.
Yeah, no. And yeah, it is appealing. I think it's something you would need to see in person or grab that camera and walk around this room because it's incredible. Yeah. I mean, so I turned 45 today, and your father has been racing winning races since 78 when I was born. Mm-hmm. So that's the scary part. I can look around this room. I have friends in some of these pictures that are the size of little BP3. And
you're showing your age, Steve.
I am showing my age. I'm young at heart.
You are. That's all that matters.
I think.
Maybe. So were you getting at something with the...
No, okay. This is the scrambled eggs part.
Okay, so what I'm envisioning is Steve and I, we'll see if this actually happens, but we have a lot of good things planned for this year.
Yeah. We
do. And I'm really hoping we actually fulfill those plans and those goals.
Pictures, too.
Yeah, pictures, video. I'm going to snapshot that picture. It's great. So, Steve does awesome work. I mean, you've slacked on me for a while, but he's back.
You were gone.
Yeah, but like at the races. So Sealings Grove this weekend, perfect example. If for some God knows reason, Billy and Mike aren't parked next to each other, like it's gotten to the point where most tracks and most series know like they got to be next to each other or they're going to hear from me. And not that I'm like a big to-do, but I will rip them a new butthole if they make me run across. I know it sounds very dramatic.
They'll let you be parked next to each other as long as they're in the same heat.
Sounds
I just put the curse on you.
Thank you so much. Just put ideas in their heads. So, but usually you are you're beneficial for a lot of things. But when I am like over there with Mike, you're over here getting shots of Billy. So that's
true. We got away from it. It was tough. I mean, when you were up in New York and I was doing my thing down here, and
so we're coming back.
It's
gonna be a good season.
It's gonna be a slow build up because I might go to Lincoln Saturday.
Are you serious? Yeah. Already?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Cut
the podcast. You're out. I'm done. Well, I've got Skylar helping me with the behind the scenes on the social media. I'm going to have you hopefully helping me, which would be nice.
Yes.
And then, and we've just got a lot of stuff brewing. So as long as we actually fulfill those checklists, then I'll say it's going to be a successful year.
Agreed. No matter what.
Hell yeah. Okay. Well, thank you guys for listening in. I really hope you enjoyed this and got some really good laughs. Steve, you've got a good memory bank back there because there's so much. I'm lucky if I remember what I had for breakfast yesterday.
It's filled with useless knowledge.
I know, but it's good.
Nothing.
It's good stuff.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, I hope you guys all enjoyed this. Make sure to like, subscribe, share this across your platforms, and we will catch you guys, if not at the races, then right here next week.
That sounds like a plan to me.
All right. Thanks, Steve.
See ya.